Hello everyone, I'm Sam.
And I'm Kaitlyn.
And this is Team Get Ovary It.
We're an all-female team participating in the greatest motoring adventure on the planet,
the Mongol Rally.
We'll be driving 10,000 miles across mountains, deserts, and unknown terrain.
And along the way, we hope to spread our feminist and environmental ideals.
Join us here as we share our stories, thoughts, and interviews as we get ready for the Mongol Rally 2021. Hi!
Hello!
So today we're going to do another Get to Know Us interview, but with a twist.
Yeah, so instead of talking about ourselves today, we're going to have two people who arguably know us better than we know ourselves do the talking for us, and we're going to hear from them.
So let's introduce today's guests. So joining us now are Jim and Era. Can you guys introduce yourselves to our listeners? Maybe Jim, can you go first?
I'm Jim. Sam, bad.
Yeah.
Is that enough, or do you need more?
Maybe a little bit more, like what do you do, perhaps?
What do I do? Well, I'm trained as a landscape architect, but recently I've been an eBay reseller, someone on eBay. And so working from home doing that and enjoying it.
That's cool.
And, you know, I grew up in Massachusetts and lived in Texas and Florida and landed here in California.
Which is where I grew up.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. And then how about next is Era. Era, can you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Kaitlyn's sister. I've had the misfortune of knowing her my entire life. that really good 1.5 years before she was born. Boy, what I'd give to have that time back.
Things were good back then.
I'm similar to Jim. I am working from home. I live in Toronto. Right now we're currently in a lockdown. I work for a property management company at the moment, and so far things are good. And yeah, just making it through the pandemic as best I can right now.
Ain't that the truth? All right.
It's almost over.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're in the home stretch now.
Well, awesome. Thank you guys for making the time to be here with us today. We're super excited because I think like you guys are two people that have known us since we were born. So I'm sure you have a bunch of stories that you could tell.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you for being here. It was a little crazy getting everything set up, but we appreciate it and we're excited.
Yeah, thank you guys again. And so what's going to happen is that we're going to ask Jim and Era some questions about us to kind of offer a different perspective on the Get Ovary It team members. So guys, I mean, it's already kind of gone there, but please be gentle.
Yeah, don't tell like the most embarrassing stories. Let's save those.
Oh.
So our first question is going to be about Sam for Jim. So Jim, I'm going to ask you, what is Sam's favorite color?
What is our favorite color?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't look at colors that way.
Okay.
I look at colors. I look at colors as changing. So that you have different favorites. Depends on your mood.
Oh, that's true.
And where you are in your life and all of that. You know, if you really want to be bold and assertive, your favorite color is red. But you may want to be more mild and be green or something. But I think I would say if I had to pick a color for Sam, it would be blue.
Oh, interesting.
Because that was the color your headset came. You wanted your headset in blue, right?
That's true. For my birthday, I got a blue headset.
And how would I know? You haven't been living. You've been living all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, okay, the thing is, my favorite color was blue for a long time, like the majority of my life. And then I think I was in middle school and it got to this point where I think I had just thought about blue so much that I started seeing blue everywhere I looked, which isn't hard. You look up at the sky, it's blue. Yeah. But I was just like, I'm surrounded by blue. I can't do it anymore. And I had like a 6th grade existential crisis and changed my favorite color.
To what?
To purple.
Oh.
And that's like tentatively what it is. But you're right. It does change.
I thought your favorite color was green.
It is kind of. It's changing. I think it's in the process of change. See,
I told you.
That's an accurate
it's
answer.
like an impossible question because I don't even know. No, it's like I love green, but I think for the past like 6 years it's been purple. So it's I don't know. That's like we're getting existential with colors. I don't know. Okay, Era, I have a question for you. Who is Kaitlyn's celebrity crush?
Oh, this is a tough one. I would say, so growing up, I would say probably went back and forth between two people. Orlando Bloom, specifically from Lord of the Rings with the long blonde hair, and Alan Rickman.
Oh!
Yeah, it's very polar opposites. Like, light, relatively comedic, Orlando Bloom, also kind of sort of within our age bracket. And then Alan Rickman as the Harry Potter Professor Snape. Just like creepy, floating around with his robes. Both have long hair though, so that's on trend, I guess. But like in the present, in our current age, this current age, it's Gung Yu.
You know, they all have great hair.
Oh, so I'm a sucker for good hair, man. It's just totally. You told me you didn't know the answer to any of these questions, but you're spot on, and I forgot. Oh yeah, man, yeah, dude, Orlando Bloom with that wig and those eyes, like holy crap! And I had like that big. I had that big poster of him like above my bed for the longest time.
I think it was on. I thought it was on your closet door. Did you have more than one? You might have had more than one.
I don't. Are we talking about like the new house or the old house?
Old house.
Because I think the old house, I had a Harry Potter poster that was on the inside of my bedroom door, and then I think in the new house I had a picture of the Pope on my bedroom door.
You did that. You did.
I did.
The Pope. Yeah.
The Pope.
I have so many questions about that.
We live
Why
in a we live in a very heavily French Roman Catholic community, like to the point where we went to public school, but they still taught the catechism in class, like totally against provincial law, but whatever. Everyone's learning about Jesus today. And we would do prayers and stuff. It was wild. And anyway, Kaitlyn, there was this one woman that Kaitlyn would deliver the newspapers to, and I'm pretty sure, no, she gave us rosaries. I think the picture of the Pope came from maybe a school teacher or someone in the community, but I think it was given to you for good luck for like the Jeux des Genoux or like the Acadian Games or something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, for like softball, and it was just like good luck on in your sports. Here's a picture of the Pope to wish you better. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very Catholic. Like, so we were English speaking, and my mom is not Roman Catholic. She is Ukrainian Catholic or Orthodox Catholic. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't go to the same church as everybody else from class. And like, to set the stage, our last name starts with M, which is like middle of the road alphabet. Mm-hmm. However, we were the very end of the class list because everybody was Arsenal and Gallant. Everyone was related.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nutty. So because Kaitlyn and I didn't go to the same church as everybody else, a lot of them thought that we were non-Christians, and I had questions asked to me all the time about being Jewish because they just thought I wasn't Christian, and I was like, well, no, there's other kinds. Like, not everybody's Roman Catholic, and it was such a tight community that they just didn't grasp that somebody can still be Christian and not be Roman Catholic, and they just thought that you were something entirely different. So it's just like, no. Like, it was really funny because it was just like they were mind blown by the fact that like you could be Christian and not go to the same church. Ugh.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Okay, so our next question then is for Jim about Sam. So question number 2. On a typical Saturday afternoon, you can find Sam doing what?
Taking a nap.
That's not wrong.
Well, you get up early, so usually it's like you're taking a nap. So, but otherwise, I don't know if we could be doing yoga, some kind of yoga stuff, or reading a book, something like that.
Yeah.
That accurate?
Yeah, it's a pretty like fair assessment. I feel like of my Saturday afternoons, I'm finished with work. I work Saturday mornings, and so yeah, I usually chill
Yeah. Usually you're up at some ungodly hour.
Not so much anymore. I've stopped doing the ungodly hours.
Okay.
So yeah, my earliest class is 9 o'clock now, which is not bad at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, I mean, reading or doing yoga or just like laying on the couch is like a pretty fair representation of what my Saturday looks like.
Sounds heavenly.
Especially lately, because what else can we
Yeah,
do?
I know. What else is there to do? Okay, Era, next question for you. What is Kaitlyn's favorite food?
I would say, growing up, it was definitely lasagna.
Yeah.
Every single birthday, she would ask Mom to make lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
She never made it otherwise.
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing. You're right. She never did make it otherwise. Well, because it's a lot of work, and it's just like once a year. Manicotti is probably up there as well.
Oh,
honestly, yeah. Manicotti was like one of the other things. I think once we learned how to make that, I think that might have usurped the lasagna, quite frankly, because those are delicious. Now I have absolutely no idea because everything she eats has changed. So, like, growing up, Kaitlyn would not eat lettuce. Like, that was the thing that she would not eat at all.
Yeah, true.
And, like, Mom would have to make her a special salad where it was just, like, carrots in a dish. And then she also wouldn't eat eggs, and now she eats eggs. It's like she's a different person.
Hey, I used to eat eggs, but they had to be, like, hard-boiled.
Oh, yeah, hard-boiled to the point where the middle was gray.
Yeah.
Like, it was basically that computer mouse ball was the inside of Kaitlyn's hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah. Now I eat, like...
You don't want a runny egg. That's just...
Oh, I love runny eggs. Like, I love having runny eggs and, like, dip toast in it. Well, I guess back when because, like, another thing, too, is, like, recently I have a lot of new dietary restrictions. Like, I can't eat that much. Yeah, I can't really eat dairy or gluten much anymore. Yeah, so now it's more like... My diet's more like just meat and vegetables, I suppose. And I can eat eggs and stuff too. But like yesterday I had this, what did I eat? Oh, what's it called? Memil kimchijeon. And it's, I mean, yeah, it's good, but like, you know, the outside is kind of like a bread thing and it's like buckwheat. So it's like super wheaty. And then inside there's actually some, I don't know if it's rice noodles or if it's like potato noodles. I'm not really sure. But like today my stomach's not good because I ate that yesterday.
You do know that buckwheat doesn't have gluten in it, right?
What? Really?
Yeah. It's a different thing, my dude. Like, it's its own plant that doesn't have any gluten in it.
Oh,
it's not the same thing as wheat.
Oh, well, maybe it's the rice noodles then.
Probably.
Could be.
Buckwheat is amazing, by the way. It's a different call, but like, yeah. I can hook you up with some good buckwheat recipes, my dude.
Cool, I appreciate that.
Well, every time we would go back to Boston, right, Sam?
Mm-hmm.
Grandma and Grumpy would make lasagna for the first meal when we got back there.
Yeah, it was my favorite thing to eat. It was so good.
It was so predictable.
I know, but that's the best part of it. You're going to get off a 5-hour flight and you're going to have some delicious lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's so good. Well, like, what was it? I think the last time I went home, one of my neighbors said something like, "Oh, you're coming home? Is your mom making lasagna?" Like,
yeah, the village knew.
Even the neighbors know about it. So,
yeah. If we're thinking of like favorite dishes, like Kaitlyn likes to make dishes. I think probably her favorite, or at least the one that she was most proud of as a child, was her snack cracker sandwich.
I can't believe you know that.
It was a concoction. I'm pretty sure there was Cheese Whiz and ketchup and Ritz crackers.
Yep.
And you had to put the Ritz crackers in a specific pattern. So there's only 4 crackers, 1 in each corner kind of thing. And then the ketchup wasn't just spread willy-nilly about your sandwich.
No.
It had to be a dollop on each of those crackers.
Yep.
And that was her like favorite thing as a small kid, because before she learned any culinary skills, that was her dish.
That was like the start of her culinary experimentation.
Yeah, hilariously, she can't eat any of those things now, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, like, I made a French onion soup from scratch the other day, so I've come a long way, I think, since the snack cracker sandwich days.
Honestly, I feel like the best meals I ate living in Korea were ones that Kaitlyn cooked for me.
That's impressive and surprising.
Like, we used to do dinners all the time, and like I don't know, you were just really good at like very easily cooking dishes. Whereas for me, I would have like sat and like stared at a recipe, gotten really confused, mismeasured things, probably burned something, and like maybe like have like, I don't know, exploded like a oven or something like that. You were just like always able to like just like, I don't know, guesstimate, and like you have a sense in the kitchen, and it always turns out well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't measure anything. That's kind of my thing. I used to like really bother my roommates a lot because we used to make like butter chicken. So I was the one who was like designated to make it just because for whatever reason my roommate said like when I make it, it just tastes better. And then and doing the rice, which is really funny because I tell my Korean students about this all the time because in Korea usually they use a rice cooker. So they like measure the rice, they measure the water, and then they just like put it in the machine and like press a button and then it cooks. But when I cooked rice, like I would eyeball the rice, eyeball the water, and then cook it on the stove.
Oh no, Kaitlyn.
No, it always turned out perfect. Like I know exactly how to cook rice. And so like my Korean students, when I tell them this, and I'm like, I cook it on the stove in a pot. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And it always turns out perfectly. And they're just like, what? How? And I'm just like, I don't know. Just skills, I guess. Anyway, that's enough bragging. So Jim, which celebrity or public person does Sam look up to the most?
I'm curious what your answer is going to be because I don't know if I would know what my answer is.
Yeah, I mean, now I know when she was younger, it was like the Jonas Brothers.
Oh my god, we went there. Yeah, it was. I had every CD. I won't deny it.
You know, they're back
I knew
together.
every song. Yeah, I heard about that.
Can rekindle that love.
I don't know. Would it be a political figure?
Probably.
Like Kamala Harris or something?
Yeah, or AOC, I think. Yeah. Bernie Sanders. I always have a place in my heart for Bernie. Yeah. I think that would be it. Like honestly, if there was a figure, it would be.
Yeah. If we were gonna go to see anybody speak, it would probably be something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
We might go to a music concert or something. Maybe someday.
Yeah, but I don't know if I admire musicians, but I don't know if there are any that I like look up to as people, if that makes sense.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I thought the answer for this question would be more like political. That's why I changed it to like public person, not just celebrity. Because Sam is really not the kind of person who I guess like you don't like fawn over celebrities. I guess you don't really get caught up in that hysteria.
Not unless it's the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah, apparently. It's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Era, let's see. Our next question, is Kaitlyn introverted or extroverted?
That's a tough one because I know she likes her own time, but I know that she also likes people. So I think with Kaitlyn, it's kind of like a blend where she likes to spend time on her own and do her own thing, but at the same time, she likes spending time with people, but she's just selective of who those people are. So she never puts herself in a situation where she's in a room where there's a bunch of people who have absolutely no value to her. That sounds bad, but like, that's really bad. But she always.
I'm like some villain from a Batman movie.
Yeah. She's just like doesn't care about people at all. No. But like she always tries to have like quality company. So like she tries to make sure that she has people around her who stimulate the conversation and bring the best version of her out, regardless of what the activity is. But she always tries to have like she cultivates really strong relationships with her friends, and she loves spending time with them, and she loves doing activities, either hiking or playing games like board games or even like online video games or what have you. But then at the same time, she's not the type of person who shies away from doing things on her own. Like she isn't afraid of those like inward journeys as well as those outward journeys, if that makes sense.
Wow, I think that's like the nicest thing you've ever said about me.
Yeah, it is. Please remember that for my birthday next year.
Okay.
No, I agree though. I've always thought of Kaitlyn as like an ambivert. Is that the term where you're like a mix of both?
I've never heard that before. It sounds good though.
Because I think you've always said like you're more introverted, but I feel like, I mean, you have introverted tendencies for sure. Like like you love like your time alone and like, you know, doing stuff around home. But I think like whenever we're in a social situation, you're fairly extroverted. I think.
She's kind of like Bilbo Baggins, if you think about it, where Bilbo's kind of like into his own self, doing his own thing, but at the same time, he went on some really cool adventures and made some really good friends.
That's like the perfect comparison.
Oh my god. And I'm gonna get like I'm obsessed with jewelry.
Yeah.
I think we're on to something here.
Bilbo Baggins.
I think if you had a trail name, that would be your trail name.
Oh my god. Okay. When we do which one are we doing? Are we doing the Pacific Trail?
The Camino, every trail.
Yeah, okay. That's it. I'm gonna it's happening. Bilbo Baggins, here I come. All right. So next one. So Jim, I guess, what was Sam like as a child?
What was she like as a child?
Mm-hmm.
She was what's that? Very cute. No. She was very determined. If she decided to do something, she was going to do it, and it was very hard to get her to veer away from a direction that she thought she had to go. Don't you think, Sam?
I mean, yeah, like I can definitely see that. I don't think I've like contemplated too much on like my existence as a child, so it's like interesting to think about it. But yeah.
No, I think
that's like partially still true about me now.
No, it is, because it was even like when you were going to college and deciding what degree you wanted. And you had originally thought about law, and then you were gonna go to law school. You're gonna become an attorney, but it wasn't where your passion was, and you finally had to realize. And there was also, you had baggage with grumpy. Her grandfather always talked to her about law school and becoming an attorney, and you were afraid of disappointing him. And but once you realized that, you'd be more disappointed if you did something you didn't want to do, and if you pursued your dreams, that's what he would want.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't thought about that in a while. Yeah,
but to me, that sort of encapsulates who you were as a person, at least at that point in your life. Very determined. Very, she was going to go to Boston, and she was going to go to school in Boston, or she was going to go. She was going to go away from California to go to school.
Yeah, that was like my goal.
that was your total goal. And the UC system, no, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, there were so many good California schools, and we spent like a long time. Like, I don't know if you remember, Daddy, like going to all of the schools. Like, we checked out so many schools around here, and both you and Mommy were like, there are good schools in California. Like, keep an open mind. Like, look at these schools. And every time we would go and visit a campus, I would be like, I don't like it. Like, it's in California. Yeah, I'm very headstrong, I guess. Is another way to put it.
Yeah, that would be a way to put it too.
Yeah.
Whereas your sister, we couldn't get her out of, out of California, out of Orange County.
Yeah, well, one daughter leaves, the other one stays. It's like a perfect compromise, Okay, Era. Next question. Ooh, okay. I'm actually curious about this. What was Kaitlyn's dream job when she was young?
I have absolutely no idea. I don't know if I can even guess one at this point. I think at one point she wanted to be a lawyer. No, maybe not. I don't know.
No, you're right. Yeah, in grade 3, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I got that. I got one. I got this right. Good. I think it shifted a lot because like we grew up in like a weird small town. So like I think a lot of our career choices were often just kind of like influenced with what we were watching on TV. Because like you never like we didn't really see a lot of the world. Like most people we knew were like farmers, fishermen, teachers, people at the bank. Like we thought people at the bank was like,
oh, that was the fancy job.
Yeah, like you made it in finance. Yeah, right. Yeah,
it was the fancy job.
Yeah, so it was kind of weird because like as we got older, you kind of became like more like aware of the world. But I think a lot of it changed. I have no idea what the lawyer thing at grade 3 was kind of inspired by. But
TV, I think you hit the nail on the head with the TV thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was weird. We didn't like our parents did weird stuff too. Like mom did daycare, which wasn't super weird, but dad did like audio recordings for movies and things like that. So it's like a bizarre, like it's not even like real world jobs almost at that point. Anyway, yeah, I feel like it changed a lot, and mostly just like that external influence from TV and media was definitely a big thing. At one point, she probably wanted to be a relic hunter because we were really big into like relic hunting shows.
Yeah,
that's why she went to archaeology.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, it changed a lot over the years. I don't even know what she wants to do now.
Me neither.
Okay, great.
But you're totally right. So I wanted to be, I remember when I was a little kid, I think the first inkling that I had of wanting to have a job or like be something for a job, I wanted to be an archaeologist because of because I was obsessed with the Discovery Channel, and I loved watching like the history shows and like especially the Egyptology stuff. So I wanted to go to Egypt, and I wanted to like discover ancient tombs and stuff and whatever. And then for a while I wanted to be a teacher, and like I said, grade 3 I wanted to be a lawyer, and then there was just kind of like this empty gap for a while, like between like grade 4 and like high school. There wasn't really anything that I wanted to do. And then in high school, for a while in high school, I wanted to be for a little bit I wanted to be a computer programmer.
Oh yes.
Yeah, for like in grade 10 or grade 11 or something. And then I wanted to be a doctor.
Of what?
Just like a GP. Just like a medicine,
God.
like a medicine doctor. Which I think, and I still find like medical stuff really interesting. So I have knowledge about that just from like my own hobby perusal. And then so in university I studied anthropology, and my minor was archaeology. So I went back to archaeology. But as far as like my major went, Era picked it out for me actually.
No, I don't want to be responsible for this.
It was good. I really enjoyed it, and that's like the thing, because I still don't know what I want to do, but we were, in this day and age, you have to get some kind of post-secondary education. Like you have to go to college, or you have to go to university, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I remember talking to Era about it, and I was just like, bro, like, what am I going to study in university? I have to go there next year. Like, what should my major be? And then you were really cool about it. You asked me what I enjoyed. And I was like, well, I'm taking like this political science class and I like it. I'm taking ancient history and I like it. And I like doing social studies. And then you said, well, if you like doing social studies and humanities, then why not anthropology? And that was the first time I'd ever heard of it. And I was like, what is anthropology? And then I did a 4-year degree on it. So.
Yeah, and to be fair, you did choose a really good school for anthropology and archaeology. So she's studying at the university, the Memorial University in Newfoundland. Yeah. And they have like a really interesting department. They also have a folklore department, which I think is kind of neat. You took a few of their courses.
Yeah, I took a couple.
Yeah, so you kind of get like this really interesting like cultural perspective, and it's in a really neat part of the country too, because it's the first place where like Europeans make contact with North America. With the Vikings, and then there's also quite a few indigenous people that are regrettably no longer with us due to colonization, but they lived in the Beothuk, they lived in Newfoundland, so you made a good choice, I think, because you at least got some really interesting exposure to history going to Bonn for sure.
Yeah, and it was totally it was fortuitous, but it was totally accidental. The reason why I went to Memorial, honestly, was because it has the cheapest tuition in Canada outside of Quebec. Yeah. So it had really cheap tuition plus a really good program. So I think I lucked out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you did. Good job. Yeah. Good choice.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, next one for Jim. So, have you always known that Sam was adventurous, and what made you think so? Either I guess positive or negative.
Yeah, she always wanted to go places and do things. But even like when we did that, went out on the adventures and princess stuff, you loved doing that stuff, and you loved talking about going on adventures and planning adventures for when you were after college. You were going to go to Colorado and veterinary farm or something like that, wasn't it?
Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, I had an entire plan. I was going to go to Colorado, become a vet and work with horses.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And like
solid.
live in
You
the
and Brooke
mountains.
were going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
nice. And then like, did you have any
Yeah.
wider dreams like outside of the United States when you were younger?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, Daddy. I like wanted to go abroad for college. I was like,
Yeah.
I really wanted to. I got an email from a random school in Sweden or Switzerland.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and they were just like, you should apply here. And I remember going up to you and mommy and being like, look at this school. How cool would that be? And I think like you both set down the the guidelines, like you can go as far as you want as long as within like this continent. After college, go where you want. You can
Yeah.
study abroad, but like for like
If
the
money's
majority
coming
of
from us.
yeah, we're paying, so you're staying in this country. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think like my adventure side really like did stem from like camping and like growing up camping with you. Like we would go
Yeah.
camping all the time, and just like running around in the mountains or like climbing rocks and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just where like I think I started really like exploring
Yeah.
and loving it and like seeing new things and yeah, so
Very cool.
very cool. Okay, Era, what is the most surprising thing that Kaitlyn has done?
Well, probably take my advice actually for university. That actually, I don't remember that, but if that's the case, that's amazing because honestly, she rarely listens to me, so that's pretty exciting.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Like, I mean, it's, yeah, but no, like outside of that, like I think her moving to Korea, it's most surprising and it isn't. Like I know that she always wanted to go, but being able to make that commitment and also stay there as long as she has is pretty surprising. I think probably one of the more surprising things that I'm actually really surprised she did do was when she went tree planting in BC. This time I did tell her in advance that it was not going to be great and she wasn't going to like it, and it wasn't great and she didn't like it and she came back. So that time she didn't listen to me. But I was so surprised that she did it because it's a lot of hard work and it's not the easiest environment to be in. But she did go try. Didn't work out the way she wanted it to, but she also made the choice to like not stick through it and like made a choice that was good for her. And she came back and then spent the summer on PEI, I believe.
Yeah?
I think so.
I don't remember. No, because that was after university. So I spent like a week and a half with you.
Yeah.
And then I spent like a week and a half with mom, and then I went back to Newfoundland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
didn't spend the whole summer, but yeah, because that would have been, I guess it would have been June because I started tree planting in May. But yeah. I mean, you're right about the tree planting. I liked. It was really fun, and I honestly like it is a lot of hard physical work, and like I think you remember my knees were totally shot.
Everything about you, Kaitlyn, was broken when you came back. It was a week and a half of complaining. It was like, oh, my toes. I have tree planter's toes.
Oh, Christmas toe, yeah.
So, yeah, you said that so many times. I was like, great, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Because when you're planting the tree, like it was a really interesting experience. But when you're planting the tree, you kind of like kick the hole that you make closed with your toe, and you're doing this thousands of times a day. Like some of the planters, you can get up to the point where you're planting like 4,000 trees a day, and so if you're like kicking something 4,000 times a day, you lose feeling in your toe. And and then it doesn't come back, like the feeling doesn't come back until Christmas. So that's why they call it Christmas toe. Yes, so I had like a numb toe and my knees hurt and my body ached, and yes, and my legs, I have a picture on my phone somewhere, and my legs were just covered in bruises and scratches and scrapes and stuff from like, climbing over rocks and like going through the brush to like plant these trees. It was a really fun experience. I didn't really mind. Honestly, like while I was doing it, it wasn't that bad. I didn't mind the physical aspect of it, but what really killed me was just the isolation. Because we were 13 kilometers up a logging road in the middle of nowhere in British Columbia, and I didn't have any kind of, like I didn't have a car or anything. So even if I had a day off, we worked 4 days on and 1 day off. So even if you had a day off, like you couldn't go anywhere because like A, there was nowhere to go, and then B, there was no transportation. So you were kind of trapped, I guess, in one small area with the same people all the time. And then even during the day, like when you were working, you could be like a kilometer from the nearest person. You were really far away. So like we planned it for about 10 hours every day. So if 10 hours every day you were alone by yourself in the wilderness, like really far away from anyone else. And like I think it was the solitude that got me. So yeah, after a while I just kind of quit. But yeah, you're right. That's I guess those things are kind of surprising. Yeah, I'm also surprised that I've stayed in Korea for this long, but it's like, I'm settled. I'm settled now. People asked me before I left, they said like, well, how long are you going to be there for? And I said, well, minimum 6 months, because that's what is in my contract, so I don't have to pay back the airfare. Maximum ? And then it's almost 4 years that I've been in Korea.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It is a long time. Okay, and then Jim, what do you think is Sam's greatest strength?
Her
natural wit, her beauty, her charm.
That she gets from her dad.
Perseverance.
Okay.
Really, just when she sets her mind to do something, she's going to do it. Despite everything we might tell her, or despite her mother's and I wishes. But we've accepted it. It was like she's going to do what she wants to do, and we can try to tell her no and hold her back. It ain't going to work. She's going to go do it. So we support her in doing it. Of course,
do you have any famous like examples?
Well, just even joining the Peace Corps. I mean, to us, that was like, whoa. That's a big step, and that. And she learned a lot about herself through that process. We learned a lot about you too.
I think even when I like wanted to go back abroad after Peace Corps.
Yeah.
I think that especially, like, you guys were like, are you sure?
Are you sure?
you want to do that?
But I thought it was actually good though too. That for you to go and do it, and you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was afraid we weren't going to get you back here.
There was a period of time when it was looking like I might stay abroad.
Yeah, you might be stuck abroad for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Getting back, start of the pandemic was a fun story, but
yeah, it was like, I'm staying, I'm going, I'm staying.
I know, and it changed by hour.
Yeah,
there was like I think like a week where like every single hour it changed if I was like coming home or not.
Yeah. I think I remember those times because you were trying to book a flight, but like I think you ended up doing something really weird where you had to like book a flight to somewhere and then like book a separate flight.
Yeah, that's what we did, didn't we?
Well, so what happened was I had a flight booked, and I had booked it months in advance because it was like I was always supposed to come home around that time of year, and then because COVID happened, like flights just started getting canceled left and right. So what the airline did was I had a flight, and it was a connecting flight. It was supposed to take me to Taipei, and then I would go Taipei to LAX. And then they postponed my first flight to Taipei so that it was leaving like, I don't know, I want to say like, what month was this? March? April?
Yeah, March.
April?
Beginning of April, yeah.
Yeah, so my flight to Taipei got moved to April 3rd, but my flight out of Taipei going to LA was still on April 1st.
Oh no.
And then there were like no flights going anywhere. Every country around Bali had started closing borders, and there were no connecting flights. And I like really just snuck in on like the last connecting flight that was able to get me home.
Whoa, lucky.
But yeah, it was chaotic for sure.
Yeah, for a while you were going to just try to weather the storm there. You're going to just hunker down in Bali, but for a while it seemed like it would be a good idea because there weren't many cases in Bali.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad we got you home.
Me too.
And Sam would say, but what about that airline ticket that I might not use? I said, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just get home.
Yeah. At that point it was just like, do anything you can.
Because I don't think you were quite as aware of how serious it was as we probably were over here.
Well, yeah, it was still a bubble in Bali. Like the news hadn't really affected us. We hadn't had any cases at that point. And there wasn't much of a change of life, and so I didn't understand how serious it was getting in the United States.
as we were starting to go into lockdown, because that's when we would have said, that's when California went into lockdown, and it was like, and I can remember your mother wouldn't pick you up, right?
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me go. I'm the one nominated, most likely to die.
It's true. He's the highest risk
God.
in the family, so we try to protect him. Okay, Era. So a similar question, but sort of the flip side. If you had to pick, what is Kaitlyn's biggest weakness?
Yeah, I think. Oh, it's a tough one. I think probably, like, from my own perspective, I think, and this is something that like affects me too. It's probably stubbornness, because like sometimes, like, again, this is nothing against you, because like I'm the exact same way, but it's like we get like, I think this is a problem with our own relationship. It's gotten better. Like, to be fair, this has gotten a lot better over the years. But when we were younger, we would just know that we were so right about something that we would never consider what the other person was saying. Like, to both of our own detriments in every single situation. And I think now that we've gotten older, it's gotten a little better, where we can like actually talk through stuff and kind of like compromise between the two of us. Again, there will be times where someone's just like not going to agree with you, and you kind of have to be a little patient about it. But like that stubbornness between the two of us is definitely probably our own greatest weakness, which we're working on slowly but surely. And I think as you age too, like some of your stubbornness just kind of like melts away, because you start to meet more people and you start to understand that like there's so many more perspectives, there's so many more like experiences that you can learn from. But man, when we were younger, that was really detrimental to pretty much everything. So yeah, stubbornness is probably the greatest weakness that I can think of, other than the fact that she's allergic to everything.
Yeah. Physical weakness and like, I guess, personality weakness. No, that's true. And and what you were saying about mellowing out when you get older, that's also true. And I think it depends who I'm talking to. So obviously
for me, you're never going to agree with me.
Oh, absolutely never.
Yeah.
I'm much kinder to my friends. So if my friends like, they tell me something, I'm like, oh, really? Is that so? But if you say something to me, I'm like, nope, that's wrong. Never happening.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. That is correct. All right. And then so for our last question, we have something, I guess, for the both of you. So just generally, and then Sam, do you want to say?
Yeah. So just, to wrap it up, what do you guys think will be the outcome of the Mongol Rally for me and Kaitlyn? And do you think we'll make it? Do you think we'll go to jail? Do you think we'll survive? What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah. And if we do go to jail, whose fault is it going to be?
I can't see you two in jail, but you never know.
I think we're too good at sweet talking for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And then Sam's got that excellent defense of like, what did you say before?
Oh yeah, if I see an authority figure and I feel like I'm in trouble, I just start crying immediately. And then usually they become so uncomfortable with my tears that they just like slowly back away. So that's my plan. If we get into trouble, I'll just start crying.
That'll be us at like the Russian border, like the Turkmenistan border. just start crying. I'll let you do that. All right, yeah. Arrow, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. So this is a tough one to answer because of the current travel restrictions. So thinking back to Kaitlyn's last road trip that I'm aware of, when she decided to go from Newfoundland to Vancouver, they were still on Newfoundland, on the island, and they needed to take a ferry to the mainland of Canada. There's a giant storm coming in. Like, this is probably one of the larger hurricanes that was going through the region in like a few years. Neither of the people in the car decided to check to see whether or not the boat would be canceled or delayed. So they're going many, many kilometers over the speed limit, trying to get to like Bonavista, wherever the boat was leaving from, as fast as they could. And then I send them a text message like, "Oh, hey, it looks like your boat's canceled. Have a good time," or whatever. I can't remember what it was. And then I get a snippy, angry text message back from Kaitlyn. Well, all the time in the car, they drop from like 150 down to like 80K because they have no reason to risk their lives to catch a boat that's late. So,
Yeah.
so if Sam is there to kind of like, I don't know, check travel itineraries and like travel restrictions between different borders, I think they'll be fine. I think they'll make it on time. If Kaitlyn is responsible for that, oh heck no. Like they're not making it. They're not making it out of Europe at that point. Like it's not going to go well.
I feel like honestly, like me and Kaitlyn together are never anywhere on time, like ever. So it is really like I think anyone's guess if there are like certain like time restrictions on like visas or places we need to be, it could be questionable.
But that's half the fun.
I mean, this is very concerning because we are dealing with like international bodies and other sort of like, border control.
Yeah.
And there are some, geopolitical issues in those regions. So maybe research before you go.
We're gonna give Era like secondhand stress.
Yeah,
always
a little bit. Yeah,
always. Well, I remember even coming to Korea. Like I remember because you were looking into coming to Korea before I decided to come to Korea, and then you had stuff ready. You were talking to recruiters and stuff too. And she was so I was living in Toronto, and she was just like, you need to do this, and you need to do this, and you need to set up a Citibank, and you need to blah blah blah. And I'm like, whatever, man. It's like, just chill, dude. It's all good. Like,
oh man.
Like, I thought you were gonna strangle me.
It's just never good to be in a situation where you don't have a way out. But like honestly, I don't like. Quite frankly, I do not know why I was so concerned about it. Because considering you were able to like finagle your way on a domestic flight with a fishing license and a birth certificate,
what?
You should be absolutely fine. So to fly domestically in Canada, you need to have a photo ID. And Kaitlyn, at the end of her road trip, Kaitlyn had a lot of her items stolen in Vancouver. So her purse was stolen. So like her money, her driver's license, her passport, gone. So all she had with her, for some reason, was her birth certificate.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a photo ID, you can fly with 2 non-photo IDs. So a birth certificate, A-OK, that proves that you were born here, person. And then you need something else. So she got a fishing license from the province of British Columbia to get on this plane. So she called the airline. It was like, this is my situation. How do I get on the plane? And they're like, oh, well, you can do it with a fishing license. So she goes to like Service BC or whatever their provincial support office is called, and they issued her a fishing license. So she got on a plane from halfway across the country from Vancouver to Toronto with a fishing license.
Well, actually, it was a little bit more weird than that, actually, because I didn't go to the BC office. I went to a tackle shop.
Oh, great, perfect.
Yeah, so and I called about 3 people from the airline. The airline people were so nice. Like 2 people were just like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, can I use my taxes? Like, can I use a tax return or a T4 or something? My name's on it and my social insurance number. And they were like, no, that's not going to fly. You need something else. And I was like, and then finally, like I talked to the third person and they were like, oh, well, I guess a fishing license is technically ID. And I was like, okay, here I go. So I went to like a tackle shop and there was just some kid sitting in the tackle shop because apparently like to get a fishing license, you need a photo ID. But I didn't have any photo IDs. So I just I guess looked so pathetic, and like the guy was really down to earth. He's like, whatever, I'll just give you the fishing license anyway. And I was like, cool, thanks. So it was like pretty illegal.
She's not even a resident of this province. There's nothing at all. She's just there, and they're like, here's a government issued document for this province that you've been in for 20 hours, maybe tops. Here you go. Enjoy your flight, ma'am.
But see, so everything works out eventually.
Yeah, I know. For some reason everything works out for you, so I don't know why I was concerned, considering that you were able to do that.
Yeah.
Good times. That was her ID for a while, because she had to go back to Newfoundland for something else too, and I'm pretty sure she flew with the fishing license again.
Were you there when we went, because we went to Train Faux, and do you remember, were you there, Era?
No, I don't believe so.
Well, we went to this restaurant and I'm trying to get alcohol, but like Canada's pretty strict about like serving alcohol to minors, so they were just like, IDs please, and I didn't have an ID, so I had my fishing license and my birth certificate.
Did they serve you with that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, of course
That's
I did.
wild. That's wild.
See, we've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah,
if we have a fishing license and our birth certificates, we can get through anything.
And crying. So crying, fishing licenses,
Right.
birth certificates. We're good to go.
Mm.
So I guess, well, we talked a lot. So I think that's about it. I had a lot of laughs. I'm gently crying now because that was really funny. But again, like, thank you guys so much for coming on. It was so fun talking to you today.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for shedding light on our personalities and
On who you guys
our
are.
childhoods. Well, awesome. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time on the Get Ovary It podcast.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's it for today, folks.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
And as always, please support this work by subscribing and donating to our cause at www.teamgetoveryit.com.
Donors get access to specific content like stickers, t-shirts, and postcards from our journey.
You can donate for as little as $5 and the benefits build from there.
Go to our website for more information.
Or find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Team Get Ovary It.
Thanks for listening.
And catch us next time on Get Ovary It.